Hey, Rippaverse just dropped a bombshell. Saints and Sinners, their first ever anthology, is here and it's packed with insane talent like Critical Drinker and Mahler and maybe a couple other people you might have heard of, maybe. So stick around for my raw reaction and why this could be the Rippaverse's biggest win so far. What's up, buyers of the things? That's what I'm going to call you now, I guess. Buyers of the things. It's Jonathan, and today we're going to dive into the recent hyped up, I guess, announcement of Saints and Sinners, Rippaverse's new anthology. This 112-page beast is tackling good and evil and everything in between, and we got, major well-known Rippaverse people like Eric July himself and the Soska sisters writing, but also people like Critical Drinker, Mahler, Drunk 3PO, Heel versus Babyface, and I can't wait to see what kind of crazy out there stuff they're going to bring to the table. It should be awesome. So let's react to the trailer right now and then maybe break down why this could be a game changer. Hit that like button if you are psyched for the Rippaverse and this anthology. Let's check out the trailer, shall we? We shall.
I am not the only one drawn to this place. With each passing day, more converge upon Earth. Pilgrims of fate, some already arrived.
Yeah, the Rippaverse has been real consistent in my eyes on their art style, and they're just killing it. They keep killing it here.
Others still walking paths they do not yet understand. This gathering intrigues me.
Also, that's the Dokuman voice, and I believe it's the same person who voiced him originally in the old school announcement trailers from back when Rippaverse started. It's still the same guy. So that's Dokuman talking in the background, the watcher of the Rippaverse, basically, I think.
They exist in the space between heaven and hell. Their choices now will carve the shape of their eternity. But do they truly know what they are?
The weight of restraint. So we got Eric July with Elias Martins doing the art on the weight of restraint. Yeah, I like that title.
What forces stir beneath their feet?
And that art
while
right
they
there.
play their part on the
Yes.
board.
Wrestling.
Perhaps. Or
And of course, it's the Soska sisters, who I've seen some of their WWE escapades, but the movies they made for them at one point as well. Yeah. And ringside, they got to be ringside for a bunch of stuff, or near. Yeah. Even somewhat recently, right?
or something far more significant. Death lingers near, yet the dead do not rest.
Bone God.
Their whispers grow loud.
That's Mahler. It's cool to see, so Eric July was somewhat of a, comic critic for sure, and sometimes comics-related movie critic, and he turned that into, the common criticism of the critic is, well, why don't you show us how it's done? So Eric July's done that now. He's helping enable Mahler. I think Critical Drinker's already done stuff, but Mahler, for sure, and Heel versus Babyface and Drunk 3PO, although he's done comics, but he's helping them turn as well. I guess Jay doesn't count. He's already done the cross, but I think Mahler and Az, I don't think they have. So it's cool. He's bringing sort of more people through that process of going from critic to creator in the comic space, at least.
Their stories claw to the surface. Deeds once buried in shadow now strain for the light. These saints, these sinners, They are unlike any I've seen. Complex, flawed, powerful. Some barely cling to their souls.
Cross to bear.
Others shine so brightly, I dare not look away.
I definitely like they've got sort of these, well, saints and sinners, good and evil, moral sort of vibes is what I'm expecting, kind of. What do you think? That hooks me. Does that hook you?
They have been chosen for what lies ahead. And nothing in this world or the next
Chasing
will
ghosts.
ever be the same.
Yeah.
I must watch them. For with it,
So he took Ingrid, right? This will be cool. And I guess this is Dokuman watching them, maybe? Well, he's talking about it, but anyway, I can't wait.
in this fractured group lies the thread to a mystery
One little push. Critical
greater
drinker.
than they can fathom. And soon, it will unravel.
There's cross. There's the cross. That's a cool shot. Saints and sinners. We'll finish that out. Yeah, there you go. Go check that out for sure. I'm gonna have to pre-order myself soon. But what that makes me think of is, well, in particular, the Saska sisters. I guess this was their idea. That doesn't surprise me, because if you followed them from pre-Rippaverse, the pre-Rippaverse times for them, horror filmmakers, but they were involved in some anthology, at least ABCs of Death 2 for sure. I was at the premiere of that at Fantastic Fest. Actually sat next to their group in like an extra folding chair that they had to bring in because that screening was so packed back in the day. That was a good time. All right, let's take a look at the pre-order campaign right now. What do we got? Well, first of all, I guess I should just say the overall theme, Saints and Sinners, is, it's a good theme. It's interesting. It allows basically all kinds of things, good stories of good and evil and every gray area in between. I mean, the description is literally this: step into the gray area right here between heroes and villains with the first ever Rippaverse anthology. So that's kind of suggesting they're trying to step away from superhero, supervillain, and to the gray area, literal gray area. But they're still using the term saints and sinners. So the terms which does suggest there's good and evil, right? So it's not ignoring that. It's just the gray area in between it. So Saints and Sinners delivers 6 explosive short stories that expand the universe with new characters, unforgettable moments, and morally complex narratives. From soldiers with forgotten pasts to reapers walking among us, this collection dives deep into power, purpose, and the eternal battle between good and evil. There you go. That's literally the theme, and it's about as like classic and well, just deeply resonant of a theme as you can get. There's, almost everything could be about good and evil to some degree if you take it from, the right angle to do that. So let's look at what these stories are. We got Chasing Ghosts, this is Heels versus Babyface's story that's focused on Ingrid Valdez. It says Alpha Core's Ingrid Valdez strikes out solo to face the emotional and moral fallout of the Wilkins tragedy, and a story packed with grit, heart, and personal reckoning. Don't know. Sounds like it could be interesting. I mean, having it be about Ingrid Valdez, and that as is writing it, I have to see what happens there. I don't know. I'm curious how that turns out. Across the Bear, this is Drunk 3PO. He's made a new character called Cameron Cross, who has partnered with Mick Davies in a heavy tension-filled mission that tests their beliefs and reveals the cost of living with emotional scars. So there you go. It's a little dark. There's darkness. I am sensing darkness in the Saints and Sinners anthology. We got Eric July's The Weight of Restraint. Samford Willard's past comes to light as readers learn more about the man. So this is a deep dive into Samford Willard. Is it Williards? Like billiards? Looks like that's how that's spelled. So there's a lot of potential there because it's not telling us much of anything about it other than who it's about. Then we have Bone God, a violent, chaotic thrill ride. Introduces all new characters and the first appearance of a major new villain destined to shake up the Rippaverse. This is by Callum Edmonds. Right. So that sounds... I like the name Bone God. That sounds like it could be fun. A chaotic thrill ride. Then we have the Soska Sisters, the underdog, Larry Shungite Larry Shungite steps into the spotlight with a long-awaited origin story that digs deep into his roots and reshapes what fans thought they knew. Yeah, well, this one's been sort of asked for, so that should be fun. That's and the Soska Sisters, you know, they know what they're doing. And then we have One Little Push. A mysterious figure walks the boundary between life and death and a haunting tale that blends eerie mysticism with familiar new faces alike, by Will Jordan. So I don't remember if Will Jordan is Critical Drinker or Mauler, and then Callum Edmonds is the other way. I think that's Mauler. I think Will Jordan's Critical Drinker. That's my yeah, I was right. Will Jordan is Critical Drinker. Callum Edwards is Mauler. Sorry, guys. I don't know your real names until now, really. So there you go. Yeah, I think that's my favorite. Cover D, right there. If I only order one, that's the one. I love that. I love that piece of art with the cross and the fire, and that's probably Cameron Cross, I'm assuming, laying down. Yeah, very cool visuals. So obviously the theme, there's thematic depth with this theme of sinners and saints and the gray area in between good and evil. The comic's like over 100 pages, I think 112, so that's not insignificant. There's tons of variety because you got like 6 different stories. And not to mention, Rippaverse at this point has a track record. It started off huge, and it's sort of normalizing over time, and I know some people make a big deal out of that, but it's obviously what was to be expected, and there's just more of it, so that Eric July understands supply and demand enough to understand what that means, So I don't think there's anything to worry about. The Rippaverse is doing well, and this just looks like another step in the right direction, and it's a huge, I think it's going to be a huge moment because it's bringing more people in, and it's setting up another like a mechanism to continue to bring more people in. So I can't wait to see what comes out of this. I'm definitely pre-ordering this myself. You should do that as well. So I guess the big question is going to be, with any anthology, anthologies tend to struggle because yes, there's a lot of variety, but does it all tie together in any way, or is it just, some anthologies are meant to sort of enhance each other's stories and kind of build into something, and some are just meant to be separate tales under a theme. I think that's probably the way they're going here. But it'll just be interesting to see if it's more like a thing that feels like cohesive, or if it's just very separate, different stories. I don't know. What do you guys think that's going to be? It's probably these separate stories. You guys agree with that? Let me know in the comments. Okay, as of right now, and it's barely, it's only a couple hours in, they're up over 30, almost at $34,000, almost 1,000 copies sold so far is what it looks like. Yeah. So it's starting off strong. So what kind of story do you want to see? What are you hoping for from some of these creators that you might know? Let me know in the comments below. Also, this is a pre-order in the style of a crowdfund, so they like to track the sales and show it if you want to be kind of part of that moment and included in those numbers, which do continue after the pre-orders are done, and get in on covers that'll probably sell out at some point. So your best time to get everything you want is now and early, just in case. Go to Rippaverse.com and check out the collections. I'll put a link to this collection in the description below. That way you can go straight from there if you don't want to look it up. But let's help this make Rippaverse's biggest drop yet. Why not? Let's go for it. Okay, and that's my reaction to the Rippaverse Saints and Sinners. If you're as stoked as I am, hit that like button, subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss anything. And I'll do more reactions in the future. I'm getting this YouTube channel going again, and I'm still into the Rippaverse, and I will, I'm still into movies. We'll see. Maybe One Piece will even make a return once I kind of figure out where I am there, because I've enjoyed it, but I burned myself out on it back then when I was doing it before. But let's keep the hype going. What's your favorite thing about this announcement? Comment below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.